Hello, I'm excited to introduce to you three unique degree programmes at Royal Holloway, which are perfect for critical, culturally aware thinkers who really want to broaden their horizons. So, Comparative Literature and Culture offers you the opportunity to explore a world of literature, all in English or in English translation, from ancient Greece to the present day, as well as the opportunity to explore art, film, and philosophy, and to think about and to compare how at different times and in different places and through different media, people have sought to make sense of the world, to tell stories about the world. World and Comparative Literatures and Cultures adds to this a questioning mode about the circulation of ideas and stories and images transnationally, what we've been able to read, what we've had access to read, and who has access to reading these stories. So exploring the world in that questioning way that opens up questions of colonialism, capitalism, and the effects of globalization. Again, all in English or in English translation. History of Art and Visual Cultures is quite simply for people who are fascinated by art in the broadest sense of the word. So it's an opportunity to think about not only the history, but also the techniques and the ideas behind all kinds of art, from sculpture to photomontage, oil painting, engravings, wood cuttings, and so on. So another really exciting option. So I haven't got time to tell you about the structure of each of these degrees, but I can reassure you that all of our degree programmes are structured around core courses which develop your core competences and the knowledge that you need, building year on year, and a fabulous selection of options that you can choose from in order to develop new passions or further the ones that you already have. So the core courses for Comparative Literature and Culture, reading text criticism for comparative literature, as I say, goes from ancient Greece with Homer's Iliad through to a lovely 20th century novel from Latin America, a magical realist 20th century novel, via North Africa, 19th century France, exploring all kind of ideas around what we think around language, gender and race. And the other core course takes the idea of the city, the nexus of modernity, to think about how we've made sense of the world and the cityscape in Berlin, New York, London, Cuba, and Paris and beyond. World and Comparative Literatures and Cultures adds in its core course the exploration of theories of the world and the transnational circulation of literature and ideas and access to those ideas across the world, and discovering some extraordinary texts which are less familiar from across the world. And History of Art and Visual Cultures, in the Introduction to Visual Media, Artists and Their Materials, enables you to range from polychrome sculpture to medieval illustration, oil paintings, collage, photomontage, and looking at the ways in which artists have created these extraordinary artworks. And as I say, there's a wonderful choice of options every year, and here's a typical selection just for first year. A further small taste, which is just one small part of one of those core modules, one of the Comparative Literature and Culture core modules, as it happens, is the example of the extraordinary text by Assia Djebar, a North African writer, who brought the voices of all sorts of different women over 3 centuries from Algiers in Algeria back to life, voices which had been silenced, and explores that in her text, which we read with other women, with Virginia Woolf and Simone de Beauvoir, which we read from a post-colonial perspective, using the perspective of Edward Said around Orientalism, that Western fetishizing gaze, and France Fanon, who talks about the psychological impact of being colonized. We also do this, for this is comparative literature and culture, by looking at some extraordinary artworks. So here you can see Eugène de la Croix's 19th century painting of the women of Algiers in their harem, a fetishized gaze there, the desiring gaze of the West for the East. And then one of Picasso's extraordinary series, also named Women of Algiers, which projects perhaps some idea of freedom, but also one of male desire as well. So here we're going across a huge range of different ideas, just a taste of what we do in comparative literature and culture. We offer a huge choice of ways of combining these degrees. Comparative literature and culture can be studied as a single honours degree or as a joint and a major. So as a major, you can do it with international film or philosophy. As a joint degree, you can do world and comparative literatures and cultures. You can do comparative literatures and cultures and English, comparative literatures and cultures and drama, comparative literature and culture and modern languages, French, German, Italian, Spanish, whether you're a beginner or a post-A-level student. And you can also do comparative literature and culture and translation studies. And of course, you can combine it with history of art and visual cultures as a joint too. If you are interested in languages, history of art and visual cultures is also available as a joint with translation studies and with modern languages. Again, French, German, Italian or Spanish, whether you're a beginner or a post-A-level student. So what do these degrees bring you? What would you gain from choosing one of these unique degrees or degree combinations? Well, certainly they're internationally prestigious, and because they're very different, they give you a critical edge in the marketplace. And we're already thinking ahead to post-university. Very importantly, not just for university, but for life, they bring cultural awareness on a global scale and the knowledge of how key cultural shifts transform the ways that we see, represent, and try to make sense of very quickly changing worlds. They give you a critical appreciation of literature and critical theories and art from across the world, as well as film, and the way that these ideas circulate and influence different ways of thinking. One of the marvellous things about all of these degrees is they make you able to think critically about the power of words and images, and therefore in your own uses of words and images to use them critically. You get great oral and communication skills, and you get experience in the arts of debate and persuasion. People who choose these degrees are adaptable and flexible and become all the more so as they study. And they're able to analyse very closely, but also think really broadly. It's a lot of fun for us to teach. You get great critical and creative thinking skills, as well as research and analytical skills, and leadership and teamwork skills in what is a very diverse learning environment where we're an international bunch. And of course, most importantly, you get a real passion for and the ability to engage with a whole world of culture. Well, I hope this has whetted your appetite, and I'm sorry it's a rather short presentation, but if you've got any more queries, please don't hesitate to contact me on this email address.